Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your January 2023 Tarotscope. If you're curious about the decks that I'm using today, you can find a list of them in the description box below. You can also find links to my social media accounts, as well as links to information on personal readings and the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram. There will also be a timestamp in the description box if you would like to bypass any shuffling. We are going to be going through a lot of information for this month, Cancer, so please remember to take only what resonates with you and leave the rest. Let's jump right in. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to do this reading for you. So let's see what you have going on for you for this month. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about Cancer's theme for January 2023. Tell us, please, about, Tell us, please, about what Cancer needs to know to start the year off in alignment. Okay, thank you. Tell us, please, about Cancer's opportunities for expansion for January 20. Okay, thank you. Tell us, please, about what Cancer's soul would like them to know for the month. Thank you. And tell us, please, what God wants Cancer to remember as we move through the month. What does God want Cancer to keep in mind as we move through January 2023? Thank you. Okay. Let's get some clarity. Tell us more, please, about Cancer's theme for January 2023. Tell us more, please, about Cancer's theme for January 2023. Goodness. Okay, I don't know why, but I'm like getting this kind of like scattered type of energy. There it goes, clearing up a little bit. Tell us more, please, about Cancer's theme for January 2023. Yeah, thank you. Tell us more, please, about what Cancer needs to know to start the year off in alignment. Okay, thank you. Tell us more, please, about Cancer's opportunities for expansion. Okay. Okay, I'm getting those two. Tell us more, please, about what, thank you. And tell us more, please, about what God wants Cancer to remember or keep in mind for the month. Tell us more, please, about, thank you. Oh, wow, that's a lot of cards, Cancer. I usually wouldn't take that many, but for whatever reason, it's like we're taking them. All right, so let's take a look at your theme. So your theme for January 2023, Cancer, is Venusian Galactic Council, star being guides, answer the call, time to shine. You know, I really feel like this is about you coming out. And I feel like this is going to resonate with those that it's meant to differently for each person, right? So every person that it's meant to resonate with, I feel like it's going to be different for each of you. In regards to this, like coming out and time to shine, I really feel like for some of you, there have been stories and things that have been limiting you, or you've been putting those limits on yourself based on certain stories or certain experiences that you've had. And I feel like this is kind of like, I'm looking at this as, you know, like essentially they look like they're like, I'm here, ta-da, right? Like I'm coming out. And I feel like this is what you're being asked to do, Cancer, starting this month, right? Kicking off the year, you know, in the best position to shine that light, and very brightly, might I add. I really feel like There's a lot of intuitive information coming in for you. I feel like you could be experiencing this in your dream state. You could be seeing things in your experience that you're like, wow, that was pretty coincidental or synchronistic, or, something along those lines. So you may be experiencing that because I feel like your guides are speaking to you. Your intuition is speaking to you. I feel like there are things that are trying to be moved about in your experience. And I feel like you're getting hints or being shown that. You have the Sun or Knight of Wands in the reverse, and this is an energy. I mean, really. So the Knight of Wands in the upright is this energy of like fearlessness. Okay, it's also an energy of action and adventure, right? But in the reverse, it can be more of an angry energy, an impulsive energy. It can be also an energy that's, what is the word I'm looking for? Reckless. Yes. Can be a little bit reckless as well, right? I feel like, oh, hot tempered as well, right? Like not really thinking things through. Also, so I feel like it's interesting to me because I feel like there's a certain level of fear here. Okay. Again, because the Son of Wands is a representation of fearlessness, right? And it's in the reverse. And I do feel like maybe you have made some impulsive decisions, right? It's happened, okay? Um, but I feel like more than anything, a majority of you could potentially relate more to this energy of fear, okay? And I feel like it's because there's this energy of it's time to shine, answer the call. Like it's time to come out into the light, Cancer. Right? It's time to spread those wings. It's time to be in the spotlight. And I feel like some of you may turn from this. Some of you may back away from this. Some of you may shy away from this because I feel like the thought of being out in everywhere, like being seen, the thought of being seen, or the idea of being seen, like really being seen. And here's what I want to say, Cancer. I'm getting fear coming up. Pardon me. I'm getting fear, a lot of fear coming up, right? So I feel like a part of this isn't about being seen in the sense of standing in front of a crowd, though that may apply as well for some. I feel like this is more about being seen in the sense of being seen as if you're transparent, as if you're a glass house and someone can read you like a glass house, like someone can see what you are feeling, what you're thinking, what you're dealing with, your wound, your trauma, your pain, your struggle, etc., etc., etc. I feel like all of those things, that's where the fear comes in. Because you're being asked, I feel, Cancer, starting in January, right, to be transparent, to be vulnerable, to be open, to be accessible. And I don't mean that just if somebody can come and touch surface level. No. I mean vulnerable. I mean so somebody can peer into the depths of your murky soul with a flashlight and poke around and stir things up, and which is interesting because you have this Ten of Wands with that like stick, right? It's represented by like a stick. And I was just saying, like, poking around, and it's like the vision in my head is of like this black mud and muck, and like, trying to see in the things. And I feel like that's the fear. That's where the fear comes. It's like, wait a minute though. Whoa. You can't see all that stuff. No. I don't feel okay with that. And so that's the theme, right? That's where this is. It's like stepping out of your comfort zone, right? And allowing yourself to be seen in that way, that transparent, vulnerable way. So what do you need to know to start your year off in alignment, Cancer? Yep. Can't make this up. You can't. You have Temple of Truth, throat chakra, authenticity, and self-expression. Right? So what do you need to know to start the year off in alignment? Well, make sure that you're standing in a place of truth. You're being your authentic self. You're expressing yourself authentically and truthfully, fairly, justly, I'm hearing as well. Right? You're standing in your integrity. You're being exactly who you are. You're not hiding things. You're not wearing a mask. This is how you start the year off in alignment, by sitting, standing, walking, breathing, thinking, speaking your truth. The truth. I mean, I guess, both, like the truth and your truth, right? What else? What do we have? Wow. We have here the 10 of Cups in the reverse with this Temple of Truth. So here's the thing. Why is it important, Cancer, for you to speak that truth, right? Why is it important for you to need to know that to get into alignment for the year, right? Why do you need to know that? Well, that 10 of Cups in the reverse represents the absence of inner peace, the absence of fulfillment, the absence of dreams coming true, right? That's what that represents. It represents like those dreams being shattered, or feeling like dreams have been shattered, or that there's like a broken family type of thing, or something to do with family, right? But here's the thing. The cups in general are, a representation of intuition, of feelings, love, family, right? They're a representation, or relationships, I guess would be a better way to put that. They're a representation of spirituality. And here's the thing, like, if you're being truthful, Cancer, right? If you're being truthful, do you feel fulfilled in those spaces? I mean, I feel like I know the answer, but it's your story, right? If you're being truthful, are you fulfilled in those places? Are you fulfilled with your intuition? Are you fulfilled within your spirituality? Are you fulfilled? Right? Do you feel confident? Do you feel happy in regards to your emotions, your relationships, your family? Right? Do you feel fulfilled in love, and not just of other people, but of self too? Right? This doesn't just apply to others. This is the truth about how you love yourself, how you feel about yourself, how connected you are to yourself, right? And it's so fascinating to me that you have this Temple of Truth, which is represented by this humongous waterfall, or these floodgates, what appear to be floodgates, right? Or at least that's my interpretation. And then you have these cups. So it's like, what are you filling your cups up with? Okay, because something tells me that for some of you, it's half-truths. I don't know why. I don't know that I've ever really used that word a whole lot, actually. But I feel like some of you, that's the truth of it, is like some of these things you're filling with half-truths, like that it's not, and maybe that's why the fulfillment or isn't there, right? Maybe that's why it's missing. That's maybe why you can't seem to step into that space, right? But I feel like, again, what you need to know to start the year off in alignment is to step into your truth about all of these things, right? Where are you feeling unfulfilled? Where do you feel like perhaps relationships aren't working, or you're not in touch with your intuition? You're not being truthful about your intuition or your feelings, or, those sorts of things. Family life, like I said, or relationships. Let's take a look at opportunities that you have for expansion. So we have Heart of Source here, all-encompassing love, unconditional acceptance, and serenity. And here's the thing, like, I want to be very clear. I chose the word opportunity when I created this spread for a reason, because it is exactly that. It is an opportunity, right? Either you're going to see it and act upon it, or you're not. And in order to see it and act upon it, you have to be paying attention. You have to be looking for it, actively looking for it, right? And so, and once you see it, moving upon it, right? Taking the opportunity. So with this being an opportunity for expansion, this Heart of Source, all-encompassing love, unconditional acceptance, and serenity, I feel like this has everything to do with you, Cancer. This doesn't feel like an external party. I want you to know that. It doesn't feel like this is necessarily in regards to a relationship with another person and them accepting you. and that being your opportunity for expansion. No, it feels very much like the opportunity for expansion comes with the unconditional acceptance of yourself, with the unconditional love of self. And that's where you have the opportunity to grow, to really experience yourself in a completely different way. And I feel like here's the thing: when you unconditionally love yourself, or you learn how to do that, that allows you to unconditionally love and unconditionally accept other people. And you can't begin to know what that looks like until you start to do it for yourself. Truly. Right? That's the reality of things. So I feel like one of the bigger things here is the opportunity that you have for expansion is to unconditionally accept yourself should you open up to yourself in the way that Source is open to you. Source loves you unconditionally. And I feel like Source is trying to reconnect you with that. I'm going to read from the guidebook for this card. We're just going to read the message, okay? I'm not going to read the entire, or oh yeah, okay, this is different. I apologize, you guys. I thought this book had like a breakdown of things. Oh, it does. Okay, yeah. We're going to read just the message part, okay? Not the interpretation. So it says here, you are connecting directly with the heart of Source, the creator of life and to love. You are blessed to receive this card, for it shows the cup of your heart is being filled with love until it overflows. The divine energy that is with you now is helping you melt away any blockages so that you can be open to the love, acceptance, and appreciation that you deserve. You are being encouraged to view yourself in a loving way and give yourself permission to be loved. If you have been holding back for a while but are now ready to share the love you have within, this card lets you know it is safe to do so. You are loving, and lovable. Step forward, claim your worth, and enjoy a new level of spiritual openness. You are truly blessed. So you have this opportunity, right? Again, it's fantastic to me, by the way, that we're talking about the spiritual openness in this position. And this is an opportunity for expansion, right? It literally says, enjoy a new level of spiritual openness. So this is what you have the opportunity for, right? To experience yourself, the world, spirit on a whole new level, right? Let's see what the tarot has to say. So we'll add to this. Wow, this is what I refer to as the Harry Potter card. This is the Eight of Wands, right? Which indicates rapid movement, quick decisions. And I feel like the opportunity. So first of all, the opportunity is going to be a quick one. It's going to be like door open, door closed. So I hope you see it. The second thing that I want to say about this particular card is that I feel like once you open up, right? Once you accept self, once you see yourself and are fully accepting of self, right? And loving self, I feel like the pace of things could pick up very quickly. I feel like that expansion, that growth, I feel like it will pick up and how do I want to unfold? Thank you. Very rapidly, right? I just feel like things just seem to kind of go, right? I'm just going to move that over just a little bit because we have quite a few tarot coming out with this card. Let's see. We also have here the Tower in the reverse. Yeah, so, it's interesting because here's the thing. I feel like this is why this is important. I feel like the decision for you to move on the blessing it comes very quickly and goes very quickly, and it's going to be very important for you to not be avoidant, for you to not allow your fear to determine or dictate your choices. Right? Because the Tower in the reverse is like fear of change, it's fear of suffering, it's an avoidant type of energy. It's I don't want to face my shit. And the problem with that, Cancer, is that you keep not facing the things, you keep not dealing with them, and it keeps showing up. And the more you push it down and the more you ignore it and the more you deny it, the more it collects, right? The more it collects. And then what can happen is that you can find yourself at this space where you like self-destruct or implode upon yourself, right? Like you hold this stuff for so long, you don't deal with it, and then something happens, and then boom, everything's out, and there's no controlling it, no stopping it, right? um and that's kind of what that tower moment is, right? Sometimes it happens in that space, but other times it's not so much you that implodes, it's just the world around you implodes, because God's trying to show you that you're out of alignment with what's supposed to really be happening, right? And so, God would be like, oh, you don't want to see it, you didn't want to see it when I was nudging you, so here, let me set the tree on fire, maybe you'll notice, right? Maybe you'll notice. Both of these cards have lightning striking. So here's the thing, it's like that moment is going to come and go, and whether or not you give into your fears is going to determine how that plays out, whether or not you seize the opportunity. So next from the tarot, we have, wow, the Page of Cups in reverse, or the Sun of Cups, from this deck in reverse. Okay, and the Page of Cups in the reverse is definitely somebody who is very insecure, right? Very insecure. I would say, like, I wouldn't let your insecurity stop you from making decisions, quick decisions, right? Seizing opportunities, right? I wouldn't let your insecurities or your fears stop you from doing that. And again, I feel like this is why it's the opportunity, right? Because it's like, it's here and then it's gone. And it's like, and if, like, are you coming or what? Right? Like the bus is leaving. Let's go. With that Sun of Cups, I mean, there is this element here. So first of all, the Sun, or was I saying Page? Did I say Page of Cups? That's interesting, because it's definitely the Knight of Cups. But even with the Page, like, there's the energies here regardless, right? Everything happens for a reason. Nothing comes from nothing. There's a reason why I said that. Because I do feel like for some of you, there is this element of being essentially insecure, right? With self. There's a certain level of immaturity with a Knight and a Page both, right? That's like, I don't fully know what I'm doing, right? And you have the potential to be impulsive with that Knight of Cups, or Knight energy, right? Because the Knights are so eager to get out and like utilize what they know, right? It's like they're so excited to get out and like prove themselves, right? But they tend to see things in like black or white, one way or the other, and so sometimes that's how mistakes are made, of course. But with the Knight of Cups here, again, it's that element, I feel, of like insecurity or immaturity. But in addition to that, like, I feel like there's a need to understand that if you play into your fears and you allow them to hinder you and prevent you from making quick decisions, that along with that comes this kind of fickle type of energy, right? There's a need to be following your heart here. There's a need to be a little bit impulsive, right? Because again, these decisions are going to come in very quickly, lightning striking, and it can make or break your opportunity. You also have here the Two of Cups showing up as well. So it's a lot of emotional energy here, right? Which makes sense. We have that Heart of Source but the Two of Cups is unity, partnership, connection. And that's exactly what this Heart of Source is that reestablishing that connection, right? And I feel like this is a connection between you and Source. Again, you and yourself. Unconditional acceptance of self, letting go of those fears, right? But again, you have choices to make, though. The Eight of Wands represents choices. The cup, or the twos, pardon me, with the cups here, represents choices as well. So there's going to be, it's like you've got to be willing to make the choices necessary in order to bring you to this unity of self. And that has to do with you following your heart. Okay, so what does your soul want you to know, Cancer? Wow, you have crown chakra upgrade, divine connection, holy experiences, and miraculous energy. So I'm going to go back to the guidebook here because, and I wasn't going to read this. I told you I wasn't, but it's not my show, really. It's God's show. So here we are. So it says here, I just have to read this to you with this heart of source because it's going to come into play. It says here, the source of the universe is a gigantic heart. Its beats are angels and beings of light. It is what many call God. It's love that is beyond gender and dogma. It's the infinite experiencing infinity. It's all that is, was, and ever will be. It's love being love and expressing love. It's an energy that can be explained but never fully comprehended. It's where we have all come from and will all return. The strangest part of all is we've never left, even though we are spiritual beings having a human experience and may feel that source is separate from us. The truth is that we're always connected, even when we feel we're not. This gateway takes us not upward, but inward. It's the gateway that reminds us that through the stargate of our heart, we are connected to the heart of creation. Not only that, but we exist and express ourselves within that heart. Even though we may be on planet Earth and experiencing Earth as a planet within the Milky Way, all of this and more is actually being expressed by the heart of source. The vastness of this divine love is inexplainable, but it's who we are, right? So connecting with that, coming back to that side of yourself versus being connected to the fearful side of self, right? Then you have showing up in the position of what your soul wants to know, this crown chakra upgrade, divine connection, holy experiences, and miraculous energy. So why did I read the interpretation of heart of source to you? Because it's that connection to God, or that establishment of reconnection to God, which is, I feel, the opportunity that you have this month. And I feel like this card here is showing up with these holy experiences because your soul wants you to know that it's trying to be reconnected. It's trying to connect with source. It's trying to connect with that unconditional love. It's trying to reconnect you with your higher self, your inner knowing. I'm just saying, this would be for me like God saying, like, hey, hi, Cancer, I love you. Like, let's come back together, right? This would be like your soul, like, hey, let's reestablish this connection between ourselves and source, between us and our higher selves, between us and the divine, right? Wow, 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 Cancer, wow. You have the star in reverse. Do you know what the star in reverse represents? Faithlessness, hopelessness, right? Represents like being discouraged, being insecure, very much like the energies that have already come through. But it's interesting to me because I have this energy coming through of this reconnection to source. And here we have this divine connection, holy experiences. And here we have this card coming out talking about faithlessness. So I feel like your soul is saying, find that. Seek that. Because I feel like it could really change things, right? You could really be experiencing life differently in miraculous ways where your wishes, where it feels like your wishes are being granted because you're reconnected with the source of who you are. And I actually just heard, like, love can move mountains, right? So there's an element here of your soul wanting you to know, like, reestablish that connection so that you can find that faith, find that hope, find that encouragement to keep moving, to step into who you're supposed to be so that you can shine brightly, unapologetically, fully, confidently, right? Let's talk about what God wants you to remember or keep in mind as you move through the month. You have your Sirius star blessings. Holy shit. Yes, proceed. Be seen. Push through. Right? Like I was saying. Because again, I feel like some of you are afraid of being seen, not out in the spotlight being seen, though it could apply, but for many, it's that fear of being seen, being transparent, of somebody being able to see all of your things, all the things, not just the things you want to show, but all the things, right? So again, God is saying, be seen, push through the fear, be seen. This is what you need to know. Also have here Stargate heart. Interesting, because there's a lot of heart energy here, right? We have the heart of source. Now we have Stargate heart. God is saying, right, like heart chakra opening, unlocking, and generosity. I'm going to read the message for this card as well, for the Stargate heart, but I really feel like this is you unlocking a new layer of yourself. And I feel like the only way that you're going to be able to do that is by allowing these parts, like it's like, I don't even know how to explain it, Cancer, because I feel like some of these parts that are hidden or that you've been hiding from other people, you've also been hiding from yourself, or like maybe only peeking at every once in a great while, right? And so I feel like reaching this new level with yourself allows you to reach a new level with others, and allows you to reach a new level within your experience as well, right? Within your entire experience. Again, it's an unlocking, or like a leveling up of sorts. Let's find this card here. I can read to you the message. Okay. It says, your heart is a sacred place, or excuse me, a sacred space deep within you. For some time, you have protected it with psychic shields that have not only stopped you from being hurt, but also stopped you from feeling love. This gateway this gateway appearing shows that you have finally dropped these shields and are ready to experience love. Universal wisdom wants you to know that this is your divine right. You are highly empathic and you are a highly empathic and generous soul who has so much to give, and you are being called forth to reveal the deeper and more vulnerable aspects of your being. You can't make this stuff up. Seriously? Divine light beings are surrounding you, holding you, and encouraging you to relax. All the restrictions and blockages of your heart space have now been removed. The worst is behind you, and the world needs you. Right? So again, yes, proceed, be seen, push through. Right? Allow yourself to be vulnerable and open, so that not only can other people experience a new level of you, but so that you can experience a new level of you. Let's take a look at what the tarot has to say in regards to these messages so far. So, right, keep in mind this is what God wants you to remember. So we do have the Six of Wands in reverse, which is, for some of you, I feel like part of what God wants you to remember is you're not being punished. Because the Six of Wands in the reverse can represent like feeling like you're being punished, or like you are not being recognized, right? There's like a lack of recognition or a punishment of some kind happening, right? And I feel like for many of you, I do feel like maybe you feel like there's this absence of recognition, but it feels very much to me like the absence of the recognition, if you will, is because you're not fully stepped into who you can be, who you should be, based on what you've planned for your experience here. So it really feels to me like there is this element of God wanting you to know, like, you're not being punished. Whatever it is you've experienced that's caused you to shut down, or caused you to feel insecure, or carry this like faithlessness, right? Or this pain that you've been carrying. I feel like God's saying, like, you're not being punished, and that's something very important you need to understand. Also have here the Five of Cups, which is an energy of, I mean, here's the thing, like this is loss, grief, disappointment. So again, you're not being punished. Whatever it was that you've experienced that caused the loss, grief, disappointment, suffering within you, it's it's never been a punishment. It's never been about punishment. Right? What else do we have here? Wow, the Four of Cups as well, which is interesting because the Four of Cups is that disconnection, that apathy, right? And here's the thing, I feel like God's saying here, like, it's never been about punishment. It's not about what you've lost or the things that, you know, have caused you suffering. You know, it's a, like, don't, how do I word this? Like, don't get caught up in that, right? It's like, don't count the cups that, or rather, let me rephrase, don't just look at the cups that have been knocked over or broken, right? What cups do you have that are full, right? It's like, don't miss that. Don't be in such a state of disconnect that you fail to see what you have in front of you, right? And it's interesting because sometimes I think we don't recognize how impactful us holding and carrying emotions and experiences and not dealing with them, how much they can affect us and impact us, and what that might look like, right? Because I just feel like there's this disconnect, and I do feel like, you know, God's trying to reestablish that connection by sharing with you, like, you're not being punished, right? You're not being punished. Like, those losses weren't, that's not what that was about. It's not what it was about. So much cup energy here, Cancer. You have the Eight of Pentacles as well. So yeah, this is about, but this is about self-discovery. And Cancer, I don't want you to feel like I am minimizing or, you know, trying to say that what you've experienced hasn't been painful or difficult or challenging or, you know, traumatic or any of those things. I'm not saying that at all. Right? But what I'm saying is, coming from God, God is saying, I'm not punishing you. It's not about that. It's not about, you know, the suffering. It's not about that. You know, it's not about getting into this state of like apathy where you just don't believe in the world anymore and you just fail to see the good things in front of you. Like, it's about the work that's done to discover self. It's about the work to discover what you're passionate about, what brings a meaning to your life, to your experience. The Eight of Pentacles is about diligence and high standards and passion. And I feel like the element here is, you know, essentially putting in the work to discover self, right? That's what this is about currently, uncovering all of that, right? What else do we have? What else do we have? Two of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, this is difficult decisions, right? This is being able, it's like, how do I word this? Knowing self well enough, research, like, because in another deck, the Eight of Pentacles is represented by a woman who has the moon phases above her head, and she has all of these books and this material that she's been researching and looking into, and it's something, again, she's devoting time and energy to this, working on this for her, in that particular deck. And here, right, there's a spider which has weaved this massive web on this card. It's filling every corner, right? And you have to think that had to take some time. So there's, you know, it's about the work that's being put in, the work towards accomplishing, you know, whatever it is you want and experiencing things you want. And in this case, it's interesting because you have the Two of Wands in reverse, which to me would indicate that there's decisions that need to be made. But I feel like they're challenging decisions. Why? Because, well, it's going to require you to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's going to require you to leave your comfort zone. Right? It's going to require you to move past, work past, and uncover those fears, the fear of change, the fear of, you know, things not working out, playing it safe. And I feel like that's what's been happening, right? I feel like, yeah, that's what's been happening. I feel like, and it's interesting is AF, right? Because I feel like because of these insecurities, because of this, loss and things that you've experienced, I feel like there's been this fear of moving forward. This like I'm gonna play it safe because I don't know what's gonna happen, right? If I put work in, or if I put faith in, or if I put hope in, or feelings in, or energy or passion into something, then it may disappear, it may leave, it may vanish, I may lose it, right? But what's beautiful about all of this, Cancer, is that at the end of this reading, you have the Father of Pentacles here, which is this beautiful stag. And I think it's very interesting because the Father of Pentacles for me can be this representation, not always, but many times, especially in my membership readings, can be this representation for me of God. Why? Because the Father of Pentacles is a representation of a provider, right? It is somebody who has systems that have been established and work, right? They work. So they've provided abundance and prosperity. So much so for the Father of Pentacles that he has the ability to be generous, right? He's able to teach what he's learned to others, and they themselves are allowed to, or can then recreate what he's done and bring in their own prosperity and their own abundance. So for me, the Father of Pentacles can often be this representation of the Divine Father or God. Why? Because the Divine Father is your creator. It is your fulfillment of every need, right? Your constant support. Very much like the Father of Pentacles. So I feel like God is showing up here to say, like, I'm supporting you in this. Know that. I will provide to you everything that you need to be able to move through this, to unlock those bits of yourself and to find yourself in a space where you're able to be generous with your heart, be vulnerable. And it's so fascinating because that Stargate heart, generosity. Father of Pentacles, generosity. But I feel like it's generous with your vulnerability, with your emotions, with being transparent, right? So this is where January is kicking off 2023 for you, right? Like, or rather, yeah, I may have said that kind of backwards, but this is what's being kicked off for you here in the first month of 2023. And I feel like it's a very positive space to start out on if you're willing to put the work in, right? It doesn't feel like it's going to be particularly easy. I feel like there's going to be quite a bit of challenge actually that shows up in allowing these things to move through your experience, right? It takes a lot of courage, Cancer, to be very authentic, very truthful, especially in regards to things that have caused you pain or suffering. So please know that. If there was something in this reading that has resonated with you, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, subscribing, or commenting below. It really does help the channel to grow. It tells YouTube that there may be something else here for someone else that's of value, and I really do appreciate that. Thank you again for sharing your time and energy with me. It's been such a pleasure to read for you, as always. Again, I pray that something here has been valuable for you. Thank you so much. Have an incredible, incredible month full of courage, bravery, passion, excitement, truth, authenticity, and especially expansion of your heart, of your ability to be comfortable with yourself and vulnerable with yourself and with others. Remember that you've got this and God's got you. Take care of your beautiful soul, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.